Hey folks, Contingency Preps here. I just finished a day in the garden. I'm about to fire up the old barbecue and put some steaks on. I first wanted to touch base with you on an item that I've been having a lot of correspondence on, that I continue to have a lot of correspondence on, and that's prepper finance. Uh, this video is basically my opinions that are based on trial and lots of error. Uh, My opinions may seem extreme and unrealistic, but they're easily achievable with just a bit of discipline. Now, I'm not any type of finance major or anything like that. I do spend a lot of time reading the news, reading the economic news. I have studied investing on my own and have invested, lost, won, etc. Here's some of the things that I've learned that might be valuable to you. First off, first and foremost, pay yourself first. 10% of what you make is yours to keep, and you should trim that off the top and set it aside out from everything else. Now, I know that there are a lot of people out there that are really paycheck to paycheck and everything, but you cannot get off the paycheck to paycheck unless you have some savings. You cannot have some savings without some severe discipline, some austerity programs within the family. So 10% of what you make is yours to keep. If I was telling this to a young person, I would additionally say to save for the sake of saving. Most of us, when we do think of saving, it's saving for a down payment on a car or something like this. Save for the sake of saving. Anyone over 40 can tell you that if they had practiced this from age 16 with only 2% return, they would now be wealthy. Prepping. Set a monthly amount for prepping and stick to it, no matter how small. Don't worry about that. You've got to start somewhere. Unlearn materialism. You've been trained since birth to be a consumer. You've got to break the cycle. You can break this cycle of coveting things and detach from emotional spending and a lack of delayed gratification. You'll be way ahead of the game. Develop a method for analyzing every purchase in your head. It can be a graph or a pyramid or whatever works for you. Every time I buy something substantial, as in over $100, this is what I put through my head. Here's the example of it. What's important is to be able to take the emotion out of spending, and that's what this is good at. You see the rifle, you want the rifle, but it's not in the budget. Somehow the budget drifts further out of your mind, and having the rifle drifts further into your mind. You've got to take that emotion out of there, and you've got to put things in context in relation to your goals and your family's goals. This is tough. I could not do it as a young man. It took me years to get this right. Try and get it done from the beginning. Look at this example of a new roof on my house. Now, I know I'm going to need a new roof in the next few years. Weigh the need, cool, important, or vital, with the time frame, now, soon, or in the future. I think it's prudent that I increase my ammo stocks, but already have a good amount stored, so that's how this pans out. And then just out of the blue, a new sports car would be fun, and that's how this pans out. For me, the closer it gets to the top of that pyramid is the more intensely I should prepare for it, budget for it, etc. The further it falls down the pyramid, the less emphasis it has in my life, even though that's sometimes painful. Okay, here's a novel concept for everyone. Avoid credit at all costs. The age of useful credit is gone. This includes autos, homes, and student loans. There was a time when a reasonable amount of credit usage was realistic. It's no longer that way. Credit just enslaves you, and that's the way it is. We're already deep within a student loan bubble, and we're starting right now into another housing bubble. If you're just starting out, don't buy into the attitude of getting a credit card to build your credit or a credit card for emergencies only. You can survive the emergency car breakdown, for example, by having savings or by carpooling or using public transportation until you fix your car. I've been there. Being in this situation of, uh-oh, I need new tires and didn't even realize my tires were getting old. I'll just put that on the credit card and pay it off quickly. And not getting those tires paid off for the next 4 years. Whatever cash you have is the car that you can afford. Whatever cash you have is the home that you can afford. If you start off on the right track, you can buy a decent fixer-upper before age 30. Your brain has been conditioned to think that a McMansion is the only acceptable housing. This has only been the case since the 1980s, and 99.9% of the world's population does not live this way. Speaking specifically to young people, learn a marketable blue-collar skill as soon as possible during high school. I don't mean flower arranging or massage, because people won't pay for these things in a bad economy. Consider becoming an EMT, a plumber, an electrician, or if you live in horse country, a farrier. These are skills that people will always pay money for, and there's always a demand for them. While working this job and gradually expanding your knowledge and increasing your certifications, either go to community college at night or take online college courses for whatever white-collar career that you want to eventually do. Do this in a pay-as-you-go manner. Don't expect to finish for a decade. Even if that white-collar career evaporates or is bypassed by technology, you'll already have your blue-collar career. Remember, student loans are not forgiven even through bankruptcy. Some thoughts on investing. Before the mid-1990s, I would have told you to invest heavily in mutual funds for the long haul with regular monthly deposits. I would have told you to max out your 401k. Historically, the stock market has outperformed any other investment for those who invest consistently and methodically. Since the mid-1990s, more and more hands have tweaked the stock market and laws and rules regarding mutual funds against that of the small investor. They're slanted against that of the small investor. Essentially, it's now designed to use your money for someone else's benefit. Many of us have seen our 401ks cut in half overnight by corrections in the market, and with the loss of value of the dollar, they've never really recovered. 401ks use pre-tax dollars, which on the surface seems nice, but essentially you are going to be paying those taxes when you're almost guaranteed to be in a higher tax bracket at a later point in time, and I don't see taxes go down that often. I see them go up more than anything. 401ks are additionally slow to respond to market changes. In most cases, this is a good thing because it takes panic sell-offs out of the hands of inexperienced investors. But for a person that studies the market and wants to anticipate trends and move his funds around, you're kind of stuck with your 401k. I'm not saying to avoid 401ks, especially if your employer adds matching funds, but understand that nowadays it's kind of a crapshoot. A young person should, though, take advantage of those matching funds in case the collapse that we all see coming doesn't happen. Avoid death by 1,000 cuts. What I mean by this is gym memberships, cell phone contracts, cable TV, internet services, and a myriad of other services that are small contracts that quickly add up. Avoid this if you can. It may seem painless to pay $10 a month for the gym, but when that money is automatically coming out and you've fallen on hard times, and that $10 could have been towards your electric bill or towards food on the table, It, you see what I'm saying? Debit cards and bank accounts. Do you trust your bank's digital security? Do you trust your bank not to allow your money to be taken? Banks used to guard your money like a rabid dog. They're them fending off everything, to include the government, to protect your money. Used to be a sense of pride, a sense of integrity and honor with banks. Now the government can dip into your account anytime they want without a court order, and collectors can easily obtain a court order to attack your account without an adequate chance for you to fight it. Ask yourself, in an emergency, will the banks be closed? In an emergency, will debit cards be purposely shut off, or will internet disruptions make them unusable? In an emergency, will ATMs run out of cash? In an emergency, will banks and the government cap transactions? What if the powers that be set a $20 daily limit on your debit card transactions? Consider where you want your cash to be when everything falls apart. Investing in silver and gold. I have a lot of friends in the prepper community that buy silver and gold and stock them away. First off, forget precious metal funds. This is just a paper investment, just like equities. Silver and junk silver is a good investment for emergency purposes, but in my opinion, that would be for a very advanced prepper who already has all the beans, bullets, and band-aids that they need. I also see gold as something for the advanced prepper. Gold is highly valuable, and if you go this route, purchase the smallest amounts possible. For example, a 1/10 ounce gold coin. When you do purchase it, keep the sales receipt and original packaging with it, and this will aid in verifying authenticity of the coin when you're actually using it in a barter situation. Don't buy 1 ounce gold bars or gold coins because it's really hard to make change for an ounce of gold. I personally would add a lot more beans, bullets, and band-aids prior to investing in precious metals. In fact, I think I would buy something like a moonshine still before investing in precious metals for a prep. Consider non-traditional methods of saving, such as gradually overpaying on your electric bill until you have a positive balance that would cover a couple or few months. This, of course, is a gamble that the electric company will still be open for business in producing power. Consider barter items for post-catastrophe use. Bic lighters, pocket knives, MREs, water purification tablets, hand-wound flashlights or radios. Even such oddball items like flip-flops will become valuable during a long-term emergency. You can stock up on quite a bit of those now for very little money. Consider where you will keep your emergency cash. Your house can burn down or be robbed. Don't keep all your eggs in one basket. I hope you can pull at least one nugget of useful information from this, and going forward, I hope it can be a help to you and your family. Thanks. Stay safe.